All right, let's get right into it. Let's get into Donald Drumpf, the Republican's sure-to-be nominee to the upcoming 2016 presidential election. Drumpf, whose real name is Drumpf, Donald Drumpf, four-time bankruptcy filing, four-time draft-dodging bum. Donald Drumpf's real family name is Donald Drumpf, D-R-U-M-P-F. Kind of like the sound of a drunk farting. Drumpf. So there you have Donald Trump's real name. Another fact about four-time bankruptcy filing bum Donald Trump. It should also be known that aside from Trump's four bankruptcies, he's also a four-time draft dodger. Coward and a pussy, too scared to go to war. Talks a lot, but he's just a big mouth, as everyone should know. Drumpf, the little sissy, is easily rattled, even by comments so simple as silly jibes about his tiny little feminine hands. Vanity Fair pointed out that he's a short-fingered vulgarian, and thin-skinned little pussy, four-time draft-dodging coward Trump took great offense at that, so he's constantly pointing out that his little feminine hands are big, powerful hands when they're in fact little feminine, sausage-fingered hands that have never done a good day's work in their life. Of course, he's a spoiled brat who inherited $241 million and squandered it, turned that into about $120 million, which is what he's worth now. He does list all of the bankrupt assets as his net worth, as $11 billion. That would be the case if his four bankruptcies had been successful corporations or companies or endeavors. However, they're not. They're all failures. So those are all negatives. His net worth is somewhere around $120 million, about half of what failure Mitt Romney's is. Now on to Von Drumpf's next problem with the Constitution and with the Uniform Code of Military Justice and international law. Drumpf thinks it's okay to execute the families of terrorists, so that if, say, a war criminal like George Bush were to be found guilty of war crimes and be labeled a terrorist, Drumpf would find it okay to murder his entire family, even a one-year-old baby if there were one in a crib at the time of Drumpf's illegal assault. Unfortunately for Drumpf, there's, aside from international law, U.S. law, Uniform Code of Military Justice, that literally state that if a soldier is given an illegal command or order, they are to turn in the individual who gave them the illegal order, and they're never able to carry it out. So Drumpf, if he were to issue an order like that, would immediately be carted off and thrown in a prison. Likewise, with his stated agenda to ban Muslims from the United States, he would be removed from office and thrown in a prison until his hearing, and then of course he'd be found guilty. There's no two ways about that. He'd be locked up and incarcerated for violating the Constitution. We think we should have the death penalty for that. It'd be good to get rid of people like that. War criminals, people who violate our Constitution at that level, should be dealt with very severely. And Drumpf, a buffoon and a criminal and a complete anti-American racist buffoon and birther, should be dealt with severely even at this stage. Even though he hasn't committed the crime yet, he said he has every intention of doing so. So he should be stopped now, and aside from never electing him, which won't happen anyway, he should be stopped by the Republican religious cult. They're creeps. They have his same agenda. They're afraid to say it loudly, but they share the same opinion as racist, sexist, degenerate, and anti-American buffoon, four-time bankruptcy filer Donald Drumpf. They're just scared to say it out loud. He isn't. They know that his saying it out loud will also destroy their cult. And they're right, because America's moderate, tolerant, accepting, welcoming. And if they don't get in line, they're done. And our guess, they're done. Thankfully. Welcome, President Hillary Clinton.